Everything goes down this month. Big changes in the real estate market. The shoe is about to drop.
So on Friday, we broke that breaking news that the National Association of Realtors is settling over a massive lawsuit.
Yeah, the National Association of Realtors has agreed to a landmark settlement that's set to impact how homes are bought and sold.
Yeah, absolutely, Charles, because this is huge news. It's arguably the biggest financial development to hit our nation in a long time. There's going to be a new rule.
I've been on a half a dozen webinars, town halls, going over all of these new forms that are going into place.
Because we have new mandated rules.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Well, if you don't, you should stick around. Now, in this video, I'm not going to go over the how we got here, all that dirty laundry. I did create that video, and I'll pop it at the end if you want to know exactly the ins and outs of why
we have all these changes in the real estate industry.
And you probably should watch that because you're probably going to buy real estate at some point in time in your life.
That's a big 10-4.
Today, I'm just going to go over the end result of it. In a nutshell, our government is now requiring that all buyers
sign a buyer's agreement. This is a binding contract.
Realtors cannot show you property unless you have a signed agreement with them. So if you were someone in the past that just liked the look, well, sorry to tell you, those days are over. Buyers will have to sign a contract stating that the buyer will be responsible for the realtor's commission if the seller refuses to pay them.
And yes, this is a nationwide change.
Every multiple listing service, every board of realtors nationwide is rolling this out this month. My particular MLS goes into effect on August 13th, and they have all kinds of paperwork that we have to use now. So don't be surprised. If you want to go look at a house, that you're asked to, one, sign a contract, and two, be responsible for paying real estate commissions if the seller doesn't pay them. So yes, you as a buyer, your closing costs may increase. So the National Association of Realtors has come up with a variety of tools to help realtors through this process and to help buyers as well. And don't be surprised if you get asked up front to prove that you can buy a home. Now, I've been doing this for years. I never set foot in any property unless I know I'm working with a well-qualified buyer, which means you have a recent mortgage approval, or if you're paying cash, you provide proof of funds. You'll find more and more realtors are going to start asking you for these, in addition to signing the contract. Now, you as a buyer, since you could potentially be picking up the realtor's commission, should do your homework. Absolutely, you should do your homework. Now, every multiple listing system is going to have forms. They're not going to be uniform forms. Every MLS will have its own set of forms. My MLS came up with 10 of them. The one that I'll be using is the broker-buyer agreement. They do have some other forms. Let's say you want to do a single showing agreement, which basically says the same thing, but for a single showing. That's something a new realtor may use. It's not a form that I will be using. But in a nutshell, yes, this is going to weed out the lookers. If you're a serious buyer, you want to buy a home, and you need representation. If you don't know how to write real estate contracts, you don't understand real estate law, contingencies, inspections, financing, all the things that go along with a real estate purchase, you're going to need the help of a buyer's agent. And in that case, you need to start interviewing buyer's agents because they're not all created equally. So, since you may be paying the broker's commission as part of your closing costs, I would suggest you start interviewing realtors if you need to buy real estate. So yes, as a buyer, you should vet your realtors, find a good one, find one that's experienced, maybe ask a family or friend if they've used a realtor in the past. Was that realtor skilled? I would definitely do that because you're going to pay the real estate commission, so you better know what you're getting. Now let's say, for instance, you want to make an offer on a home. Well, one of the services that I provide, and I think every realtor should provide, is to give you the sales history on the house you're making the offer on, as well as the comparable sales. So you can make an educated decision on what type of offer to make. So besides getting a referral from someone who's worked with another realtor, you can also look for reviews online, look at their LinkedIn page, get a good idea of the realtor's experience. That's something that I would do. And don't be surprised if a realtor asks you to, 1, pay them a retainer, a refundable retainer. So if you have to pay that real estate commission and they collect a retainer, it would be taken out of any real estate commission that you would pay. Some realtors will charge you by the hour to show property. All realtors work 100% on commission. They don't get a salary. They do expect to be paid for their time. We work long hours, we work weird hours, we work late hours. There'll be a variety of different ways that realtors can get paid, and commissions are always negotiable. So do your homework, find a good realtor.
And you can always include the broker commission in your offer to the seller.
Now, I think sellers will probably, in most cases, pay the broker commission. I know I'd write it into the contract so that I didn't have to pay it as a buyer. Part of this agreement is all commissions will have to be removed from the multiple listing system. So yes, sellers can still pay the broker commissions. It just can't be advertised in the multiple listing system anymore. So myself as a realtor, I would have to call the list agent and say, hey, are you willing to have your seller pay the broker commission? Because my buyer doesn't want to pay it. I know that's something that I would be negotiating for my buyer. Were you aware that if you wanted to buy real estate and you wanted representation, most people cannot navigate a real estate transaction on their own. There's contracts to write up. Every state has a different contract. You need to understand real estate law. All these things are necessary to know to navigate a real estate transaction. So there's a lot of value in getting a well-qualified buyer's agent to help you. But did you know that now you have to sign this agreement and agree to pay the fee? Inquiring minds want to know. Make a comment below. I like reading them. And what do you think, this is question number 2, what do you think this is going to do to the already slowing real estate industry? I mean, right now, because the prices are just so high and mortgage rates are also so high, sales are slowing. So will this new requirement for buyers to sign this contract, do you think it's going to affect the real estate industry? Will it slow it further? I think we will go through some growing pains, and it'll be no big deal next year. For me, it's no big deal now, but for some people, this could be a little area of stress for them. I want to know what you think. And how do you feel about not being able to tour homes without signing the agreement? That is the rule. Now, you could probably walk into an open house, but if you want to buy that house, you got to sign that agreement. Now, here recently, the median home price nationwide hit all-time record highs in the month of June. Now, even while sales were slowing, in all 4 regions, we had less sales. The median home price went up to its highest recorded point ever. So, When is that going to stop? And will this new law have any effect on housing prices? Thoughts? It all starts with the stock market, in my opinion, and that is seeing change. I think the canary in the coal mine will be when the stock market starts to plummet. And today it was down 800 points. And yesterday it was down 500 points. So I see something happening here. And after the stock market starts to slide, I think, now, this is just my opinion, the housing market could very well follow that. Because that's what history has shown. But I'm going to give you a little piece of advice. I lived through the 2008 recession, the Great Recession. It was no fun. And it took 5 years for us to bottom out there. 5. It's not a fast process. So 2008 down to 2012 before we stopped declining in prices and started to change course. And I do believe it will be the same this time. You know, it's Friday here. I thought I'd just put this video up on the fly. I normally go out on Fridays for dinner. The stovetop does not get hot at my house on Fridays. Doesn't happen. But I am here in Florida, and we have a little tropical storm situation heading our way, and we're supposed to have some monsoon type rain here.
You could see 30, 40, 45 mile an hour gusts as we head through the weekend. In addition to that, it is going to rain.
So it might be a night for ordering some pizza and conserving water, of course. Now make sure you hit that like button if you got some information out of this video you didn't know before, or if you just like hanging out with me. And of course, smash that subscribe button while you're at it, because I would love to see your beautiful face here again. It's always a good time here, and I like spending time with you. And you know, it's crazy out there these days. Life is quite the roller coaster ride. So make sure you stay informed, stay safe, and stay hydrated. And watch this video here. Take care.
To get to see